Shut up! God damn it! I'm not yelling!
Okay, Boomer. It's not funny.
It's really funny.
Yeah, sorry about that. My internet decided it wasn't up for the job anymore.
Yeah, you leave for 2 weeks and it quits.
Started.
Yeah,
So that
man.
was cool.
Can't hang.
Hello, everybody. Hello, chat. What's going on? There are so many messages here. I can't go through all those, but hello, everybody in the chat. What's up, my co-host Obsession?
Yo.
Hux. So good to see you guys again. I feel like it has been an eternity since I have seen you. Good to be back. How are you guys,
man? Welcome home.
Hell yeah, good man.
Yeah, we're good. We've been trugging along. You're the one that's got to break the saddle back in.
Yeah, that's for sure. I've been trying to keep up as much as I can. You know, it's tough with a 9-hour difference. I try to hop in the Discord and it'd be crickets. And I'm like, ugh. And I go back and I didn't have a whole lot of time to watch the video, so I've been trying to keep up on what's been going on with the strike and it seems like there's been quite a bit of stuff releasing in terms of leaks. And you would be proud, Obsession. I have not bit. I haven't clicked on a single video.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's like I mean, it's like running away from, I don't even know what. It's hard to run away from it. It's everywhere. It's in every tweet. It's on everybody's YouTube. It's very hard to not look at it.
Yeah, man.
For sure. And, you know, so the other thing, and I wanted to do a brief rundown real quick because I know you guys have talked about it a lot on the other Boomer Councils when I was gone, but an update or at least a little bit of a rundown on where we're at with the strike. Is there any new news going on? Because I feel like for me, personally, I was feeling like this was only going to be people that were involved in shooting. And I'm like, okay, we're clear because it's just for production, not post. But apparently it is post-production people as well.
It's everybody from makeup artists to Shamook to I mean Deepfake. I'm sure he had to join the union unless he's working directly for Disney and has a Lucasfilm or Disney employee card, right? I mean really, I mean unless he's working in house. But if he's trying to get paid union scale, he had to join one of the unions.
Okay. So
editors, everybody that's doing VFX, color, any of that stuff, they're all involved.
I gotcha. Okay.
So
so there are people that didn't hear about this yet. So there's gonna be a
there was talk of there's a tentative, and I use the air quotes. There's a tentative deal on the plate. We just got the contract in human talk, not lawyer talk. So we have to go through and read, and then there's a ratification vote coming in the coming weeks. And if it gets if the contract gets ratified, then everybody goes back to work and everything is safe for next year. But if it doesn't get ratified and the members vote no on the contract, then we go back to square one, and it's probably going to be a minimum 90-day strike.
Dude, this is like Congress.
Dang.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a union.
Like Congress.
It's a union.
God. Okay.
Except the members have the ultimate say. That's the difference here. The members are the ones voting on the ratification, not the people in the negotiation room. So they make a deal, and then they bring it to the members, and then the members vote. It's been 128 years, and there's never been a member strike.
Jesus.
Wow. This is big. Like, people don't understand the size and scope of this. This is unprecedented, to where 13 Hollywood unions and another 23 across the country are all in solidarity on this issue.
And it had to happen in the year of Star Wars.
Well, and that's you know, but the issue is, and for those of you that don't know, I'll Reader's Digest this thing. Basically, the new media is your Netflix, your Disney, your HBO would technically be considered new media. Amazon Prime, all of these are considered new media. And in the contract, the old contract that's been in renegotiation since June, mind you, had those as experimental pay scale. So they weren't up to the original pay scale of all the other productions. They have been using that to their advantage to overwork people, to rest people, and to underpay people. And so for years, this has been going on because they were under an experimental deal.
So this is essentially the whole thing is basically just we're underpaid. If we don't get the money, we're going on strike. Which
it's not really about pay. It's more about rest time, right? Turnaround, residuals from these networks that
no rest time. What the?
I mean, right now there's people that right before the strike, they were working them 14, 15, 16-hour days. And then that's before your drive home. A person actually got in an accident on their way home the weekend before the contract got
there's some good ammo.
Yeah, I mean, but it happens all the time, man. It happens all
the
time. Like, this is nothing new. And 7 days in a row. There's a show in Hawaii I know about this year that went the crew members didn't get to walk away for lunch at all the entire 6 weeks they were shooting. So they were literally having to cover each other for bathroom breaks. Basically, some of those guys were like, I'll pee in a bottle if I have to.
The hell?
Pulling coconuts off of trees.
Yeah. I mean, basically, they're bringing your lunch to you, and then you're eating at your workstation while the show is still running. And that's very common. That's what this whole thing is about being able to eat a meal away from your workstation, basically getting to get home with enough time to rest, shower, shave, see your family for a minute, and then come back to work,
Shaving.
So it's crazy. It's crazy. And so, yeah, there's a chance it could still happen, unfortunately. And look at what Marvel did already. Star Wars hasn't done it, but Disney already pushed back 4 movies released slated for next year and put 2 of them on the back burner and canceled their release dates.
Because how long is the tentative deal? If it's made, how long is it for?
It's a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
If it goes back, they don't.
We could see more shifts.
But this is the biggest thing because streaming is no longer experimental. Streaming is the way.
Oh, for sure.
Right. It's the way it's the way we watch stuff now. Cable and the major networks have had a huge loss in revenue because streaming has become the platform to where all of them have had to adapt to it also. So it's no longer an experimental thing. Here's a little food for thought. Netflix bought the Squid Games. I'm being generous for $100 million. Let's say this is
more than that. Wasn't it way more than that?
That's however much they bought it for, right? After it was done in production, they took it back to the ADR studio and they voiced it over and then regurgitated it onto Netflix. They made $815 million off of that show, right?
They have a real life island where they're taking real life people to, and they're going to really play the game.
Right. And so
that's so much money. Like, seriously, like
I think I've seen that movie too.
You guys remember?
I'm sorry. They paid $21.4 million for 9 episodes of Squid Games, and they made over 800 million. They're going to make $1 billion by the time this thing is over off of that show. They don't have the money to put into the people that work for them's pocket. They don't have to help with the cost of living increase. They don't have to help with safety. Like it's a big deal, man. They're making they're making hand over fist. I mean, Disney just went to $80 a year and they have almost probably 1 billion people there. You know what I mean? There's a lot of money in this streaming platform. And that's why ScarJo won her lawsuit because they're losing money as well because people are watching it on the.
Dude, your ability to shift into like completely different topics is absolutely phenomenal, bro. I'm stuck. God, I wish I was an orator the way you can orate. It is stunning. I love it.
My secretary over here says if it's possible, if I work a Netflix show, a huge amount of my hours I dedicate to the show will not go towards my medical qualification and pension I will never see, but more medical qualification, right? Because for every union member, every hour you work qualifies you for health benefits if you meet a quota.
I just wanted to find out really like what effect does this have on Star Wars? Are we gonna if this goes through, are we gonna lose the year of Star Wars?
We're gonna lose a bunch of time. Yeah, I mean they're gonna put. I believe the only show that's safe is Book of Boba, because if anything, they're doing final touches, right? They're waxing the car, so to speak, to put it out on the showroom, right? If anything, they're doing little touches. But Kenobi is still probably deep in visual effects and all that fun stuff. So that could be on pushed back. Any principal shooting, like think about this: if they strike in the next 2 weeks and Mando is still on set, Mando goes dark in the middle of production.
So Crit says nothing's going to happen. I don't know, Matt Cave, you got a bet on this? What do you think?
I'm happy that they at least came up with something. The fact that by the time we got to Monday morning and we had a tentative deal, I was like, okay, we're heading in a positive direction here. But there has to be something more solid. We're on shaky ground right now with this. And like Obsession said, this year coming up, 2022 was supposed to be huge for all of this Star Wars stuff primarily. And we only have one show that is potentially safe. Everything else could potentially get pushed back to 2023 at a minimum.
Oh, that's rough, dude.
Oh yeah.
I can't talk about Bad Batch.
There goes our whole big year.
Yeah.
I'm with you, bro. If I got to talk for 3 more years about the Bad Batch, I might just have to throw in the towel on this whole YouTube thing.
I mean, I'm pissed. Right? I've been waiting.
I'll see you guys in a year or two.
Yeah.
I've been waiting on.
Let me know when Grogu comes back.
What, 2 years? I've been waiting on Kenobi. I mean, through the whole rewrite, through the whole thing, like Kenobi's been on the burner for a long time, man. I'm pissed, but I wish I had. I'm hearing, all of the people that I've talked to are very upset about this contract, and we'll know more in the verbiage in the coming days. I'll talk to some more people about it.
So the 3-year thing was presented from the opposite side, and everyone's like, whoa, nah.
No, it's always renegotiated every couple years. So basically June or July was when the contract was scheduled to be signed. They've pushed this until September, end of September, mid-September. And then finally they got to a negotiating point where they're like, okay, we need to stop talking. Right. And so we need to come to a deal. And that's when the vote for the strike came. And then they were going to, and then at the last minute they came up with this deal. But the only people that are happy with the deal are the people that were in the room. Unfortunately, the members are pissed.
But I was gonna say, don't they represent the members?
You would think so, much like politicians represent the constituents, but they don't always negotiate.
Because in all reality, like both sides want this to work out because there's so much money involved. Like, I'm with Crit on this. I don't think that it's going to be a big, it's a lot of posturing right now, but I think eventually someone's going to have to bend the knee. And unfortunately, it might be the little guy.
You're talking about 60,000 knees bending, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot to expect from a group of people that is still working under these conditions because the contracts haven't been signed.
I almost have so I know this sounds heartless. I have almost no sympathy when it comes to this. Because I don't live in a democracy in my work world. It's 114 degrees outside and you've been working 14 hours. Guess what? You got another one, bitch. Get on the roof. You know what I mean? I'm under. My boss actually calls me. My nickname at work is Peanuts, because when I started out and I was working super hard, I'm like, man, you doing nothing but paying me peanuts. So he gave me a raise, but he always calls me Peanuts.
Yeah, so, they're basically
I get the feeling, and the problem for me with this whole thing, and I totally get it. You feel like you're overworked and all these different things. The difference is for me, if I decide I'm not getting paid enough, and I hold a council with all of my other employees, and we stop working, there's 19 other companies in my town that could come over and take in and make sure that the beer stays cold.
Well, and here's the hook on that is that that would be great if there wasn't a union established with contracts in lieu with the company, right? So, these are contracts that have been negotiated, with the studios, and they can't just pick up other workers, right? That's one of the things. It's one of the few benefits of a union is that during these times, Crit, I wish that were the case, but there's so much stuff in post-production right now that if those people walk out, that's where all your good stuff comes from. Those are all your lightsabers. Those are all your blasters. Those are all your 90% of your explosions. That's a lot of the meat and potatoes of stuff. Like I said, I hope it doesn't happen, but I could tell you that the members are pissed when somebody released, they're so ruthless. Somebody released the President Matthew is what I call him because I can't pronounce his last name. I don't want to mix it up. But President Matthew's work or pay scale over the last 5 or 7 years. And the guy's making, he's a union boss. So he's making, close to $500,000 a year. Good for him. You paid your dues. But when you're making $500,000 and you're getting a 5% annual increase cost of living, and you're telling your union members to take 3, there's some issue there when it comes to the membership, right?
Oh, so he's like Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah, basically.
See, this is my problem with
I live in New York
stuff. I don't want to get too much into stuff like that. I'm a non.
But that's the
unions
issue.
For my trade are garbage.
Yeah,
they're trash. Basically, you sit around in a hall, and if there's no work, they pay you to sit in the hall. And then after 25 years of being told what you're supposed to do, you eventually sit in a chair and you yell at other people for 25 years about what they have to do, and then you retire with fat pockets. I'm like, where is?
Well, and that's not how our union works. Our union, there are no halls. There are no come hang out until there's work. There is, you pay your dues to be able to work these contracted gigs, and we keep a pay scale and we have bylaws, and technically you're not allowed to be fired without representation. But again, things fall through the cracks. But the idea is to make a better workplace for all people, and they really do. I mean, they keep the pay scale in line. They try to keep the penalties if you abuse your workers hardy, but that's another reason that this is a thing, is because people need to be taken care of. You can't just say, okay, you're going to work an 18-hour day. You're not going to walk away from your workstation, and if you got to pee, you better make it quick. You know what I mean? Like that's not how it's supposed to be. And especially on these high budget, multi-billion-dollar corporations, they need to pay their share also. And I think the membership, this is where it's different than politics, is the membership actually gets to vote on whether they want to take the contract. So unlike the Senate of the Republic, each member of the union is going to get another vote, and that's going to dictate whether people go on strike. And if it happens, the strike's going to be immediate. There's no going to be like, okay, it's going to be at Sunday at 12 p.m. and it's going to be like, okay, votes in, drop your. Do it. So, yeah, it's hefty, man.
All right. Well, so no real updates in terms of the news and what's going on there. I just wanted a little update. So I feel like we've covered that. I'm happy with it.
Good.
I wanted to move on a little bit because it's been a couple people have been kind of chatting with me, and I've seen it in some messages. I think we should do a little bit of toy talk if you guys are up for it. I don't know if
I like toys.
Oh yeah,
I like tacos.
Yeah, I love tacos too. Tacos are great. Is that the sideshow?
This was from '97. It used to light up. This little button here is light used to go, but where's his sidekick? He's seen better days, but he still works.
So I need to find that because the scale is exactly like the sideshow R2D2. It's the same size, so I need that 3PO.
Yeah, These things are sick. He's seen better days, 3PO. I actually have his leg taped back together.
Oh no.
But he's posable, and I love the voice action.
Oh man, and all the eyes and everything. Okay, all right, I love that. Yeah, I'm way big into that. We were doing a little bit of Saber talk before the stream started, so I know you're looking for one. This is tough when you do a bunch of research on sabers. You just kind of figure that like everybody knows that, and I'm just the person that's catching up. And then people ask you questions, and you're like, "Oh man, there is so much." There is so much stuff. So you're in the market for a new saber. A lot of people are confused, or they don't know what they're looking at, or they feel like they want something and they don't really know where to look. So what's your question, Matt Cave?
So that was, and you hit it on the head right there. I know I want a saber, but I don't know where to look. And I've been kind of just picking everybody's brain a little bit. Like I've seen people getting sabers and stuff. I was looking at that site that Paul from the Star Wars guys mentioned, the Vire sabers, and it looked really cool and stuff. But I've been finding tons of sites. There's literally like hundreds of sites when you Google smooth swing lightsabers, and I'm like, half of these don't even look legit.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that I get the right thing, because it is a lot of money. It's an investment. I'm not looking to smash this thing into things. I want it so that I can occasionally hang on to it, mess around with it, and then have it mounted on my wall for the most part.
Right.
But I love the smooth swing, the ones that are so responsive. Like I've seen the differences, like how we were talking about backstage, where some was like you swing it and then it goes. But I've seen these things where it's just like boom, 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 and I'm like, that thing looks and sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But that's where you got to drop the extra 100 or 200 into it to get the right board in there. And I always go back and forth. Like, do I want a replica of like Luke's saber, or do I want to just design my own?
Right.
You know,
so
these are the tough questions.
These are the hard questions. So my thought always goes to, like, is this a utility saber that you want to actually beat your friends around with and smack stuff and have fun with it? Because who doesn't want a saber like that? And you can buy one of those now. The market has changed so drastically in the past 5 years. It's unbelievable. Mainly because of LGT sabers, which a lot of people hated them when they first started coming in. Oh, all right, Mama Bear. Good night. So glad to have you here. Thank you so much. When LGT sabers came around, a lot of people hated them because everybody was used to Ultra sabers. Everybody had their, like Vader's Lair, which is another great one. Everybody kind of lands in their like niche of where they want their saber from, and people get comfortable with it. I was super uncomfortable with Ultra sabers and what you were getting for how much they were charging. And so I never bought one, and I waited and waited and waited and waited. And then these LGT sabers started to flood the market, and there were 6 or 7 fledgling companies that were putting these LGT sabers out. And I'm like, well, what's so good about them? Basically, what you get is a saber that is modular. So if you buy one LGT saber and then you buy another one, you can swap the components out because they're all machined for the LGT saber core. So if you buy 4 of these sabers, you can change them out and configure them however you want. The core fits in any saber that you want, which is great. And the same core can come in different configurations. So you can get a baselit core with an 18650 battery, and it could be a baselit, or it could be a Profi core, or it could be the RGBX, which is a new thing that's coming out because it's kind of like smooth swing, but not really. But at a budget point, all of them are color changing. Are
you reading an eye chart right now?
Am I what?
Are you reading an eye chart right now? QFT.
No, it's all just right here.
Literally, I'm reading like the front of my brain. I'm just going through like everything I remember from everything, because it's been a long process collecting sabers and finding stuff that I like. You know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, if you want the smooth swing, definitely go for a Profi. If you get a Profi, you might as well have the NeoPixel. If you're not planning on beating the crap out of somebody with it, get the Profi, which is going to give you the string blade that will go up and down.
Mm-hmm.
The LEDs go all the way up and down the blade. I'm getting made fun of in the I have done my research, yes, because like Matt Cave said, and I'm sorry that I'm ranting, but like Matt Cave said, you know, this is a lot of money to spend on something, and for me, there's a difference between something I'm going to take out and hit somebody with, and then something that sits on my wall that I'm really proud of. You know what I mean? It looks really good, and when you fire it up, that little kid inside you gets so excited. That's the Profi NeoPixel with the smooth swing. So I would just do a plug real quick. I'm not backed up by these guys or anything like that. I've just been doing business with them for a long time. Crimson Dawn down in Texas, Omega, my homie. They put out a bunch of really, really good sabers. Their offerings have opened a bunch, and they have an in-stock section now, because I can't tell you how many times you go to an LGT reseller and they have 600 sabers and every single one of them is completely out of stock, and you're waiting 6 months to get one. So go check out Crimson Dawn sabers. Say hi to Omega. Say X-Wing sent you, and go check them out.
Yeah, man, I'm looking at the site now, and they got a ton of choices, especially in that in-stock section.
Yep, and you can customize it if you just want a baselit with like nothing crazy. Then you get one of those sabers that looks really good, but the sound is awful. You can get one of those. No offense to.
Do you guys have a favorite saber, or do you guys have favorites?
Mine is
that question. The movie sabers.
You mean like character saber?
Yeah.
Mine is definitely Return of the Jedi Luke. That's
a beautiful saber.
I love that saber.
I like dual wielders. I like Asajj Ventress's curved hilts.
Mm-hmm.
Those are pretty cool.
I still like the Ahsoka version 2s. The more
was one of those a short blade?
They are. There's a Shuto.
This is dope.
She's very traditional Japanese.
Love that.
Even when she was single bladed, she was still very traditional.
So this is one of those ones. Saber Trio. It's tough. They make really good stuff, but they're in like Sri Lanka or some crazy country, and when it opens up, dude, it's sold out in like 10 minutes. Saber Trio just sells out immediately for like the lower price point stuff, but they make beautiful hilts. Beautiful hilts.
What's the mystery blade plug?
So what is that mystery plug?
What's the plug about?
What are we talking about here?
So that's Malaysia. Yeah. I heard the Prime Minister of Malaysia got killed a little while ago. I don't know about that. That's pretty crazy. Nobody got the movie reference.
So if someone like me wanted to get a saber that I want to build hilts on for like Momin, who they don't sell. I mean, I haven't found anybody building those hilts yet. Would you just get like one of these cheaper $89, just the base hilt with the core in it?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt. What is playing over your right shoulder? Is your video playing over itself, or is it
on a loop? Yeah, it's probably.
Oh, I thought you had your camera with chat.
No, it's an older video.
I was just like, whoa. Sorry.
I should put this back there and really throw you off.
Like, what is going on? Yes. Tripping me out, man.
It's just looping through videos.
You remember that kid in the back of the cop car in Super Troopers? It's like, I'm freaking out, man.
Schnozberries. It's like schnozberries.
Sorry.
Littering in.
No, you're good. I honestly didn't realize that. So good eye. 100% buy. Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Just so you guys know, there are some big channels in here tonight. Geeks and Gamers. Ryan's here, and then some EBN.
What up?
Here, so
is EBN in here?
I thought so. I thought I saw some of that.
Anyway, so the Crimson Dawn T38 is just a freaking cylinder. There's like nothing doing, just a cylinder, and you can do whatever you want from that.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, because the cores are 150.
I really like the way that Luke's saber feels in your hand. Aside from the switch, it's just got a good feel to it.
The Return of the Jedi one or the Empire? Okay.
The Return of the Jedi one. The Empire one feels like it's just got a weird handle position.
This is my favorite because it's the legendary saber, but I could not imagine actually like trying to fight with this thing or do anything with it because it's
the only one I have.
It's a hunk.
Yeah, I was surprised. I got that as a gift, and I was like, man, this is a 2-hand broadsword for sure.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of like the dual wield sabers, like you mentioned before, like Ventresses. So something I never caught before. So on Friday nights, Paul from the Star Wars guys and Coffee on Korriban, we're doing Animation Fridays, and they're watching Clone Wars for the most part for the first time. I've seen it multiple times over, but we covered the first movie on our first one, and when I rewatched it, Ventress had a double-sided lightsaber that Obi-Wan cuts in half, and and then she's got her dual wield. I was like, that's sick.
Right. If you watch anything from those older animated Clone Wars stuff, the fight between Asajj and Anakin is ridiculous, dude. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon through all the different landscapes and trees and stuff. Amazing.
Are you talking about
I love that fight.
Or the Clone Wars?
I'm not sure what it's in. I think it's Clone Wars movie.
The Clone Wars movie. Yeah. In the one that was basically the pilot.
He kills her, I think. Like she falls off a cliff at the end.
Oh, in the 2D one, the Gendi whatever.
Yeah, that's Tartarovsky.
Yeah.
That's okay. You really see like a super gnarly Anakin turn into the dark side. Yeah, big time.
It's a really good scene.
Well, that's the thing about the saber fights between.
What up, Sheev?
Oh, nice. How's it going? Ventress, when she fights certain people, it's a different style. When she's fighting Obi-Wan, they're for the most part talking trash to each other.
That's a good fight too.
They don't really fight each other. They play with each other.
Yeah.
It's very
have a conversation.
It's very like, oh man, I can't even find the right wording for it. It's almost like smacking your brother around or smacking your little sister around when you're playing a game, or whooping that ass and then teasing him about it.
Yep. When it's Anakin versus Ventress, they are trying to kill each other.
There's a lot of hate going on. Brutal. There's a lot of hate.
Yeah, especially after the bombing episode. Like he really goes in on her when she doesn't have a saber. He really hates her at that point.
Yeah.
Oops, wrong one. Yeah, Tartarovsky was awesome. I miss that Anakin Jedi Starfighter he had.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of Ahsoka, the blue and white striping and stuff.
It does, yeah.
I gotta be right back. I'll be right back. Before I go, who would win in a duel?
Ace Windu.
Between I'm trying to think of who would be like a fun one. So I'm thinking like Ahsoka, like middle of her ground. No, let's do Ahsoka when she rejoins Anakin, right? So we get the scene where we get the 332nd troopers.
Mm-hmm.
That Ahsoka and Asajj Ventress.
Oh, that's a gnarly Ahsoka too.
Mm-hmm.
That's like well, and see which Asajj, because like I feel like Asajj before the bombing or before Dooku kicks her out is a more ruthless Asajj.
Yeah, I think that fight would go on if it's that Ventress, like which before she's broken, you know?
Yeah, before Dooku breaks her.
Yeah, because he really Ventress, her arc is fascinating. But yeah, you get that top of her game Ventress versus that point in her life Ahsoka. That's an intense battle. I mean, that's a battle that goes on like compare it to Obi-Wan and Anakin on Mustafar. Like that's an ongoing battle.
I'd actually be really excited to see the two of them like later on in their lives fight together, because Asajj kind of came around. Wasn't she even with like Quinlan Voss at one point in one of those books?
Yeah, she.
So I mean, like she, I think grew in the Force a little bit, towards the end. But all this stuff is like some of it's legends, some of it's.
I mean, even so, I mean, I think that Ahsoka at that moment where she's reunited with her sabers, with her kyber crystals, and she's just full, because at that point she had been hiding her, like really trying to suppress her abilities. She wasn't really public, and this was the first time in a while you let the kid out of the house when it's been raining, and she just goes full ham, right? Like she's extending with every fiber in her body through the Force. It's amazing to watch. Sometimes she's not even using her sabers. She's just kicking people and just twisting and turning, and you get that Star Killer running down the ship, right? Like as the ship is falling, she's just running alongside it. Like, I don't need a parachute. I'll see you at the bottom, sucker.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It's just, yeah, and that's a gnarly pairing, because I think both of them at their best time before the Mandalorian siege, that's just gnarly.
Yeah, because they're two fighters that they will lose focus during a battle and go all out, like innocent bystanders and property around them and everything, like, will get damaged. Because Ahsoka loses her temper, Asajj Ventress loses it. We've seen it many times, but they're not. When they both reach that moment of loss of control, they're dangerous. They're brutally dangerous.
Well, and I think if Asajj knows how to use, and we never saw it, but if Asajj knows how to use any like good force power, I think that's where Ahsoka. I think Maul could have done more using force abilities like Palpatine does, and not relying on saber technique, right? Like with Maul, it was so much ego, right? Like, I can beat any of you with my saber. Whereas Palpatine was like, I want to throw you around a little bit and then, maybe break out my sabers, kind of thing with Maul. Whereas Ahsoka, like you said, she gets engrossed in the battle and gets almost like tunnel vision to where she's susceptible to slip. And I think if Asajj uses more force abilities like Vader in the moment, where she's kind of fighting and parrying while things are coming at, I think that's the way you beat a younger Ahsoka, when she had a big tunnel vision.
Yep.
Dude, I'm trying to.
Oh, go ahead, man.
No, I was just going to interject. I was trying to find the quote that Ahsoka says to Maul in the end of Clone Wars, where she's like, it's so savage. She's like, you'd be in a lot more trouble if Anakin was.
Yeah, she says, you're lucky Anakin didn't show up. This would have been a quick fight or something along those lines. Like,
dude, that was so savage.
Well, and that's what's so great is you see Kenobi in her, right? Like, she's so snappy, like Kenobi with him.
Hell yeah.
That she almost uses that to throw him off. Kind of, I saw a Kenobi-esque when Kenobi fought Maul and like played him with his stance. I felt like Ahsoka was kind of doing the same thing, right? She was using her wit to keep him off balance and to anger him and to throw him off during that fight, because she was really fun in that fight. That was my favorite Ahsoka, is she's just taunting one of the darkest dudes in the galaxy,
making him walk into a trap. And that was that was something interesting that I was listening to a stream before I left with Star Wars Meg. And she was talking about Anakin between the Clone Wars and Anakin in the movies, and how they are completely different people. How Anakin is kind of like a ish talking Chad in the Clone Wars, compared to like this kind of moody, weird, quiet guy in the movies. Do you think it's an accurate representation?
Yeah. After what they asked him to do, I kind of feel like that's why he became so, like, before that, I feel like it was normal Anakin, right? Anakin, they show up on Grievous's ship. Oh, General Grievous, I thought you'd be taller, right? Like, that's the Anakin from the Clone Wars. And then as soon as Kenobi asks him to spy on the Chancellor, he he locks down and becomes this different Anakin. Like that
There's a lot
moment,
more internalizing.
yeah, he was like,
going on.
Who can I trust? My Padawan's gone. My wife's pregnant and about to explode. My master, my best friend, my brother just asked me to do something I shouldn't be asked to do. Like that moment broke his soul. And so I think right up until that moment, he was typical Anakin.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a really good perception of it, because he's, like you said, he locks down at that point. He just decides, okay, I'm on my own. This is it. Even Yoda, after he talks to Yoda, he's like, look, I'm having these visions. This is what's going on. And Yoda's just like, you got to let go of everything.
Well, and I think when they didn't make him a master, that broke his heart. I think when Kenobi and the council asked him to betray somebody else who he's trusted and confided in, I think that's what broke his soul. And that's when Anakin changed.
They could have done a little bit better job with that too. Like, he's a politician. Really trust him that much, man? Like, I don't know. That's the dark side, though. Like, he was hidden from everybody.
Yeah, but he's known him since he was a kid. Like, Palpatine was basically working his deal with Anakin since he was 9.
Yeah.
You know, so he's like a father figure to him.
And he trusts him with stuff he doesn't trust his best friend, his brother. He doesn't trust Obi-Wan with the Sand People story, but he trusts Palpatine with it, right? Like the level of trust he has to betray or is asked to betray, that's what broke his soul, right? They didn't make him a master. That broke his heart. He's like, this is unfair, you know? And then Obi-Wan pulls him aside and says, hey, you know that dude that's had your back for the last 10, 11 years? I need you to tell me what he's doing.
What?
Yeah, bro.
Exactly.
So I kind of agree with Meg. I think that's the birth of Vader, right? I think that's the first time when he starts internalizing everything, right? Is at that moment, and then he does slowly become a different person.
Yeah,
that's
a good outlook. I like that. And I saw this earlier just because this is a little bit more funny. I don't know if I'm going to be able to even find this. Here it is. It's gonna be over. Okay. No. Oh my God. A lot of people respond to this. Oh, it was Hawks.
Oh,
this is. I had to do it.
You know, that's messed up.
I gotta go full dark side.
Because here's the problem. I love R2.
That combination of body count is high.
Look at this. I got 3 R2s on screen with me right now as we speak. But here's the problem. Chopper's a badass. Chopper fights.
He's like the Boba Fett of the droid world. Like, people don't realize.
He's got like 49,000 confirmed kills.
Headshots, every single one of them too. One-shot kills.
Yep.
But I will say this, quite a few times in Battlefront 2, EA's Battlefront 2, I have taken down Palpatine with BB-8.
Yeah, man, that's
kills. I didn't do anything. Whoa, what? Guys, don't be like my friend here who didn't do anything. Not doing anything is part of the problem.
You're part of the problem.
Okay. Man, that's a tough fight.
You're not gonna put R2.
They're the same size, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
They're
a little shorter. Because
no, Chopper.
I mean, Chop's a little shorter.
BB-8's definitely a little shorter than Palpatine for sure.
Yeah, a little bit.
But Chopper's like, look, if that's my objective, if that's what I want, I'm gonna get it. Like, we've watched him rob a merchant, like, because he was like, oh, there's a new leg over there that I could really use, and he just like straight up steals from the dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but watching R2 take on those 2 super mechs in the hangar, though, like, I never seen Chopper just
nothing compared to Chopper, though.
You know, like
I need
fisticuffs. I mean, I need a body count to accurately see that, because I don't know who's got the bigger body count.
Hello, my good friend.
R2D2 needs some form of medium too, where he's animated to do more. He was kind of restricted in his movements and what he can pull off compared to Chopper, like flying over every episode and like
Yeah,
You know?
Chop definitely had more screen time for sure.
Yeah.
Well, he was also getting geared up by Sabine and everybody and Hera, and just like
Could
Chopper
R2
was-
outsmart him though?
R2 could probably outsmart him because he's got
It's like
so
a
much
Tony Stark.
knowledge stored up about. Well, I mean, even Chopper does too. They both have a ton of experience because they don't wipe Chopper either.
Right.
That's deep. That's deep, man.
We need like a
I
we need a
apologize.
simulator. We need something where we can get this
Yes.
to happen.
Just run it over and
later.
over again.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love both of them. Like I mean, R2's my like old love, but Chopper is like my new guy, and
I feel like all right. Let's give it a tally, and I want to hear in the chat. All right, 1 for R2, 2 for Chopper. I'm going R2.
I gotta go with my guy.
I think it's
I
split,
gotta go
man.
with him.
I gotta go with my guy, but this is like The Voice or American Idol. Like, how do you pick one?
That fight would be, for me, that might be even more sad than watching Obi-Wan versus Anakin.
It's 2 for Chopper, right?
Yeah, 2 for Chop.
Yeah, 2 for Chops. Man, R2.
Rebels is a masterpiece, bro. Like, that show can do no wrong. So I gotta go Chopper.
There's a
It can do wrong.
It didn't do a lot wrong, bro.
I don't think it did, and the stuff that you think might be wrong is not done being told yet. So
I'll tell you.
No, I'm super interested in hearing about the physics of like helicopters and stuff.
Helicopter lightsabers?
Oh, you mean like the force jumps?
No, he's talking when
He's talking about Saber. He's talking about.
I know what he's talking about.
They
Sabers.
spin him around and then they Mary Poppins their way out.
He's talking about slow fall and like the force and shit.
No, they literally take off from the ground.
It was a formation. They flew like Vietnam helos together.
Yeah.
I heard Fortunate Son playing in the background. That was
Saw Bruce Willis for having like
Long tall Sally.
Hilarious.
Dude, that's what threw me out of it. I'll be honest. That took
dude,
me
gravity emitters. Exactly. Like, can't you guys just like use your brains? I thought we were nerds. I thought we theorized. Like,
I mean, if those rotations are moving fast enough and the mass is light enough, the problem I have is with the sixth brother. He's humongous.
Yeah.
So by theory, his blade arm should be like 85 feet long to get that big body in the air.
Yeah,
it was a couple extra emitters.
Or give him two, something. He needs a rear prop for his feet or something, because that's a big boy to move around, you know. But
Ninth Sister's just pulling him up.
Yeah,
I found the Jedi. In the anime one, they were like, you know, the Saber umbrella. It was like it was an attachment that had another focusing crystal that could shoot him out. This was just like
she wasn't flying around with that shit.
Everybody's like, Dave Filoni can do no wrong. There is nothing he can
honestly,
do.
I enjoyed the Saber. I
like the Saber. The spinning attachment. Yeah.
But even like how does it emit the energy? Like,
well, it seems
how does
like
the energy stay charged to the blade, and how does the blade stay straight?
What it seemed like is it seemed like
you're breaking me, Hawk.
That it seemed like
I'm talking myself out of this,
because you saw the Grand Inquisitor use one first, right? And then didn't he make his from single to double blade when he killed Kanan in the Vision Quest, right? And that was kind of cool because it was like, oh, it seems like an old school like curved hilt, and then it. Oh, you guys!
Dude, having the
how many deaths?
Having never mind.
Breakdown.
What's that?
Oh, R2 was out for the count when Luke took that shot.
Yep,
that was all the Force.
He got his head blowed off.
Yes, he did. But he had his best buddy who was going to give him any parts that he needed.
Oh god!
Right on cue.
Right on cue. Yeah,
just like 3PO to have the right thing to say though at that moment.
Yeah. First and last line. So I don't know. I don't know that I'm ever gonna get over those little helicopter sabers. I will say the Pox store makes an absolutely gorgeous second sister. Here, hold on. Let me show that. Let me show you.
That's Trilla, right?
Yes.
Trilla was
She,
yeah.
Dude, I fell in love with that character because of that game.
She's
Hell
not
yeah.
in, bro.
She had a good story arc too. Look at that. That's
Holy
nice.
shit.
Look at that thing.
Dude, yes.
Isn't
That's
that
gonna
beautiful?
slice that person's wrist right
Glow
there.
in the middle? Ooh.
So to answer your question about the mystery butt plug, blade plugs.
Crazy.
Basically, yeah, if you order a mystery blade plug when you're displaying it like this, there'll be a little like a cog or an Empire symbol or a Jedi symbol, and when you turn it on, it'll just glow in the blade plug.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it looks like it's kind of a half-lit saber, which is
I want a mystery plug.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
Well, okay, so will you hate the spinny helicopter lightsabers as much if they make that happen in live action and it looks awesome?
I will hate it more, and in fact, I will get to the point where I'm like, Filoni, look, here's the deal: you never go full retard.
I'm a dude playing a dude pretending to be another dude
playing a dude pretending to be another dude.
Never go full retard. Like I understand he went like 65% on that one. If you put it in live action, full blown can't. No.
Here's the thing about that moment that got me, because it happens. If you think back, it happens so suddenly because they suddenly decide to retreat and like, oh no, we gotta go, and then you just go.
Yeah, Avengers
like
assemble, like they're freaking Thor.
Yeah, it's just,
bro, you just solved it. Centrifugal force.
That has no bearing on anything. That is the wrong.
Would it make it better if they were spinning with them?
Yo, yes.
Like if they were like.
I actually was just thinking about it a minute ago when you brought up the fact that there was the single blade one that spins and how the weight would feel on it, but the blade is weightless, so you wouldn't feel it anyways. But
right.
Yeah,
that's because it has no mass and it.
But you know we're gonna get them now in the live action because
I hope
the
so.
Inquisitors are
Star Wars,
in the show.
Oh,
I mean, the Inquisitors are supposed to be in the show, so
at least one of them.
Sorry for your loss.
Rage quit. F in the chat.
Remember that clip from Robot Chicken where they're calling in all the ships? Are like X-wing, come in, Y-wing, B-wing, Q-wing, where are you? And he's just like, whoa,
dude. Yeah, I love Robot Chicken.
Gross.
Oh,
that's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see some. You're gonna see some spinny lightsabers.
I'm totally fine with spinny lightsabers.
I just don't want to see them fly
into a propeller.
Yeah.
It's not a propeller.
Yeah. No, I
mean, because look, we got like sort of a spinning lightsaber with Grievous in Revenge of the Sith, but he was on the ground and he used it as a weapon, like a blade coming at him,
pulling him forward towards Kenobi.
Yeah.
You don't know that those blades could have been.
If it was,
that's what was getting closer. He could have been standing still with the brakes on.
His legs
if it
weren't
was
even
pulling
moving.
Kenobi towards him, that would have been even more terrifying.
Rage.
Yes,
dude.
It was getting traction.
He's getting raged. I'm getting
hyped towards him.
So this is what I always wonder. Like, am I a true Star Wars fan? Because I go through the Facebook comment sections, and there are two kinds of people. There's those who
the
just
kind that say they don't, and the kind that say they quit.
There's the ones who reach to make an explanation for everything, and then those of us like me who are like, yeah, that was super dumb, but I love it. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
so what happens if like I'm just? What's wrong with me doing that? What's wrong with me reaching but thinking it's dumb and funny?
Because it seems like there's a camp. There's a camp on either side, and they're set there.
Yeah.
It's like they're either reaching, and they're like, "You're not a fan because you don't believe that the blades could make them fly." And then there's me, who's like, "That's stupid. That's
I love both of those opinions. I just think both of those opinions are hilarious and amazing.
I love the way that you speak them. You're an idiot if you don't like it. I'm gonna kick you in the balls. Right, like that just makes me happy.
Well, it's just like I comment on it. I'm like, nah, that was dumb, and they're like, you're not a true fan.
Like, you're dumb, X-Wing.
It's not like I got up and left the room when that happened in the episode. It was just kind of like it happened. I was just kind of like, that's really weird. But all right, there's more story.
Like the Han Solo thing. You're like, oh, you're by yourself. I'll get your Han Solo. Like nobody asked for that,
dude. That was, yeah.
And then you just get
that was right up there with the
Star Wars fan. I'm like, how many hours a week do you spend on YouTube talking about Star Wars? Like, shut up.
Which was worse?
Boy, I love it. You're salty after Paris. This is fantastic. You've been holding it in.
No, it was the happiness that I enjoyed, like driving through the Swiss mountains and hearing all the cowbells and just being unplugged and at peace. And my dumbass came home and opened up Facebook and went through Star Wars. And I'm like, I'm right back in it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
George
Lucas almost made it out. He almost made it out.
Almost. It's like Lost. It's the island. I just can't stay away.
Yeah, it brings you back. Oh god,
that's hilarious,
dude. He's not wrong.
And they're living. How about that?
The blades are weightless too, so it also makes doubly no sense.
They're using the Force.
That's it.
They don't need to spin the saber.
They literally are.
They're just spinning the saber so everybody knows where everybody is.
Because you would hate it even more if
they're just like the light markers, right? They're all using the Force to lift each other up.
Way super sassy, where you're
like
your hips from side.
Yeah. It's like Magneto with the boots, right? They're lifting each other up from the boots, right, as they go, and those are just the tail markers to let everybody know, hey, don't get too close.
So dumb.
They're actually all a dyad, and they can only fly if they're together.
Oh my God,
they can only fly if they're together. So if they're not together, they cannot fly.
That's why that one guy's fell down.
What?
That's why he was like, because he flew down by himself.
Yeah,
dude.
The diode was broken.
Oh.
I lied.
Nice.
Oh,
I thought that was the Get to the Chopper clip. I'm not gonna.
We're gonna make a vein burst in his head if we don't stop.
It's already burst. We're already. I'm already yelling.
Let me ask you this, guys. We always like in every group, you know, we always will talk about what lightsabers do we want to have, what stuff like lightsabers or blasters. But let me ask you this: whose threads do you want? Who do you want to look like?
Ooh, who's cut?
Whose cut do you want?
Anakin's are too. They're leather. They'd be too hot.
Too hot to handle, too cold to hold.
Yeah, too hot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't even have to just be Jedi. I mean, you can go smuggler.
I've been on this Lord Momin kick since that comic came out.
Stop talking. You got a crush or what, dude?
I do. I really do. I think he's gonna be in the Acolyte. I think he's one of the first dark side Force users that the High Republic Jedi's discover, actually. But I'm not sure.
Whoops! No, I got the. Oh, hold on. It was his first comment.
The Mando armor. Yeah.
Yep.
I'd be sweating so bad in that thing, but man, would it be badass.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna catch hell for this. I like Din's armor more than Boba's.
I agree. Although I also like Jango's more than Boba's, even though it's technically the same armor, just redone.
I think I like Din's more than I like Jango's. Unpopular opinion. Just gonna say it. I don't know. Dude looks fresh. Guy's snappy. He's dressed for success.
I actually like some of the Clone Wars armor too.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of like Kenobi's Clone War armor.
Have you seen
the shoulders? Yeah, and then the pad.
There's a 6-inch scale toy I just was looking at the other day of a Kenobi that's like between Alec McGinnis and Ewan, and he's got like Clone Wars armor, but he's got a hood. Have you seen that with like the red goggles?
Could you be more racist towards Irish people?
I gotta look up what the thing is.
What's his name? McGinnis. I don't know.
Alec Guinness. Does it have a mystery plug?
That's how I say it after I have a few. of the
That's why he
Guinnesses.
said he hated Star Wars so much.
Yeah, I think.
Guys, hold on. I'll be right back.
I think Kenobi Clone War armor maybe.
See,
Anakin's stuff is too leathery. It's too hot.
But I like the darker tones of his stuff. That's like if I was going to go like Jedi tunic style, I like the darker tunic that Anakin wears versus like what Obi-Wan wears, where it's the lighter like beige.
I'm gonna
which is
get
the classic one.
The Kylo Ren tummy wrap that just covers the belly button.
I kind of like.
Well, if we're gonna do that, I'm gonna go with Padme's belly shirt from Clone
I would
Wars.
look so good in that.
From Attack of the Clones,
Bro,
right?
I want throw the hair up.
Actually, I wasn't even thinking about this, but Return of the Jedi Luke is just not so tight,
That's
right?
the cut. That's the cut.
Like
it's not
that's
so tight just because we're fat old men talking.
that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean, I want the loose fit, not the skinny jean version. But yeah, I think Luke's duds in Return of the Jedi are just slick. The only thing that's flashy is the silver belt buckle. Everything else is just clean and I mean, yeah, it looks tight.
Oh, here's a good question. What color was Luke's cape in Return of the Jedi?
It was actually brown. The way that they shot it and lit it made it.
I thought I just did something right there, and I didn't.
No.
So
yeah, and mainly because Filoni told us
these
about
two these two come together. I think the clean silver is going to signify something with Din Djarin. Phasma's cape. Phasma is Din Djarin's granddaughter.
it.
Oh.
God. Dun dun dun.
You know, her armor was made from one of those Naboo ships, right?
Yeah, it was. It was from that.
Palpatine's.
Is that right? Yeah,
from one of those escort ships.
That's why it was so reflective.
Nubian. I'm a Nubian.
What about these
Nice.
guys, though?
That's sick.
Ooh.
What about
we're showing off toys?
the blue Death Watch armor?
Oh, we're breaking up more toys. I gotta get more
Oh,
toys.
you got the. Is that the Razor? No, I thought that was the
That
Razor.
is the Razor Crest.
Yeah,
I got near me.
Oh yeah.
How many pieces is that thing?
Oh, more than I know how to put together.
I got a
Oh, the launch book.
It didn't work with
75,000.
292.
Matt Cave, is that from Igloo?
This is from William Sonoma.
Oh, very nice.
This was 2008. This came out.
Nice. I just found nerd alert. Anybody who's looking for a really good like vacuum sealed cup, these are
these are
from Igloo right now for $20. It's a Star Wars comic tallboy can, but the top comes off and you can fill it with whatever you want.
Ooh,
they're just so cool. I just
like that. That's nice.
$20 on Igloo right now.
This I love. I haven't opened it. My gold Django.
Oh, I can't do the Funkos.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't either. I'm not big into Funkos.
Not a Funko guy.
I have a few.
couple of them are pretty cool, man.
I have all my other ones open, but this one I got it from a colleague. They gave it to me as a gift, and I haven't opened it.
Oh, I have one. Maybe not a lot of people have seen actually.
I have Han on a tauntaun.
I mean,
Han on a tauntaun.
Han on a tauntaun. Ooh, speaking of what color is what? What color was Han's jacket in Hoth? Nice. Oh, you were showing that the other night.
This is the Luke that has the
Throw that in the trash.
He's got the red, but he's got that red kyber crystal.
A red kyber crystal.
Yeah, he's wearing the thing that's hanging in the hut. He's like
more-
wearing it in this one.
Just more sacrilege, more blasphemy, more. Ugh.
Show
More story development that we would never get.
All right.
If
I'm gonna fuel this fire a little bit.
Let's go.
Since we looked at that Luke, right? Because there's something I want to know, and they never explained it, but they set it up. So right before Last Jedi came out, Battlefront 2 came out, and that storyline there's a whole level where you play as Luke.
Right.
He goes to that planet and meets up with the other guy, and they form a truce. But he asks him when they go into the Emperor's storage shed, I'd like to keep this compass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that's cool. What is that going to mean? And we see it sitting on the table in Luke's hut in The Last Jedi. They
Yes,
never
sir.
say a word about it. But
Yes,
I'm like,
sir.
is that the compass that led him to the island?
It's got to be.
I thought that was the
And
compass.
X-Wing's brain is melting a little bit right now.
I thought that was the
I just
compass
hate
that
that those
led
two are
him.
connected, but no, okay. All right, let's go.
Well, I thought that was basically a compass that led you to force sensitive objects on planets, is how I read that.
Well, because Han says
It's
in The
actually
Force
Jack
Awakens, he
Sparrow's
says,
compass.
yeah, he says Luke was going to like the first Jedi temple,
Mhm.
which they never reference that again. But so when I saw that in Battlefront 2, I was like, oh, that's how he finds that first ancient temple.
Yeah,
And
that
they
was
actually show it in the movie.
That was the precursor to him finding his way to find all the Jedi text, basically. Like that compass led him to all of the ancient Jedi artifacts. You know, for all we know, that's how the Emperor could have found and Vader found all of the temples that weren't in the archives and set traps for them, you know, or destroyed them outright. So I think that they kind of put that pearl in there because he always had it with him after he took it from the Emperor's basically, you know, honeypot. He took it from his vault and had it. Yeah, and had it the rest of the way. And that could have led him to Octu for all we know. But it seems like he found all the Jedi texts across the galaxy. And then, you know, that's
too bad he didn't have a wayfinder.
You mean a Sith holocron that they couldn't
could
call a
have had
holocron?
the wayfinder and found everything with the wayfinder. Storytelling.
I found a description of it that's in that one visual dictionary. It says that circular blue thing in the center is supraluminite lodestone attuned to hyperspace vectors.
Yeah, it was actually powered by Google Maps.
Brought to you
Makes
by
sense.
Microsoft. I'm shocked that wasn't in there. Like right at the bottom of the Sith Wayfinder, it says like powered by Bing.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Wow.
I'm just pissing off Hawks right
now. The salt is real.
Oh yeah, the salt is really real, bro. But it's all good. We expect it with the sequel talk.
Yeah, that was saltier than that Hoth ripoff planet in Last Jedi.
Oh, what was that again?
Wait, what?
Oh,
it's salt.
He's on more fire than Mustafar.
What if it was fucking cyanide, dipshit?
Jeez.
Dude, then like how everyone was supposed to pick up the fact that the salt didn't move with Luke's foot. Like I just feel like such a dumbass when I'm watching these movies sometimes because I didn't see that at all. Like,
oh, really?
That feeling too.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I noticed. I'm like, whoa. I don't care about his lights. Why? Number one, why is he using a gone lightsaber? He ain't talked to Rey. He ain't got that lightsaber. Number one, and number two, why no footprints?
Also,
they dancing.
How he did like the Neo breakdance move.
Yeah, the push back.
The Vader, he's just like,
man is 150 years old and 85 pounds overweight, and he just jumping around like it's the Matrix. Come on. Come on.
That breakdance move was savage, bro. I'm so bummed we didn't see that in any of the other movies.
Yeah, it was his Travolta move.
Yeah.
All I know is that it was dope.
Love the content. It was super great.
Killed
that content. So good. Such good content.
It was so good that it took his life in the end, bro.
Yeah.
I like how he just pieced out too. He's like, oh, I guess I'm done.
Yeah, that's it. I don't have enough.
If you can't appreciate that he used his last moments to love his sister, you hate.
Wait, can you rephrase that?
He did. He was like, "Hey, I love you. Keep up the fight," and he died. Like, come on, man, give the man a break.
Come on, man.
It does have its emotional weight. I'll give it that.
It's like, oh, I let you down. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it's not like good emotional weight. It's like I've spent the last 3 weeks with COVID drinking beer, talking about Star Wars weight.
And Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was not good weight.
No, I know. I'm about to add more to it.
Man, I got to find my stretchy pants.
I really like that. I really like that Luke Skywalker, that guy. He was a good guy.
Not a fan of Jake, though.
He's a good guy.
That guy was kind of a dick.
I remember when he stepped out, though.
He's no Kylo Ren, but
Kylo Ren was a cool character, though. I like his character. I like Kylo Ren. I think he could have been freaking
Did you guys see the Adam Driver on SNL last night? I don't want to derail it, but it was great. It was great. He did the one from the wedding or the marriage story, and he was just screaming at the guy the whole time. He was just angry Adam Driver. It was great.
Oh, I gotta look that up.
I would have liked to. I would have liked to have seen. Like I said, I can't complain on the arc of the character. He gets his redemption in the end. I think the thing that pisses more people off is the dyad teleportation of a lightsaber. I think that blows more people's mind holes.
What are you talking about? It totally makes sense.
Come on, I agree.
I'll take helicopter lightsabers over that.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
all day long. Helicopter lightsabers I can explain. Passing a lightsaber through the Force to different planets.
No,
you're gonna have to.
They're on the same planet. They're
wherever they were.
They were only like 100 meters away. She might have been able to throw it if she had a gun.
I do have to say that moment after, actually right before he gets it, Ben has his little Han Solo moment where he just kind of goes like, he's like, "Come at me, guys." Just
you guys are just enjoying yourselves, aren't you?
Oh, I know your blood's boiling.
Just like.
Yo, the fucking remote control gets me every time.
I saw that when that first came out. I was like, what the hell is happening?
That is fantastic.
I love it.
Kylo Ren every time Ray ends the Force Skype.
Yeah.
So good. So good. That was great.
I don't know, bro. The dyad was one of the better things that came out of that whole trilogy, in my opinion.
Was it?
But we have
how else are you gonna evolve the Force outside of light versus dark? I mean,
but we've had dyads before. We had it in KOTOR, Revan and Bastila.
Yeah, I mean,
I just like seeing the Force evolved. I just like seeing the Force grow.
For me, the dyad was an interesting concept. I just think the execution had a little bit to be desired.
Yeah. Well, it's a brand new concept too.
Because
concept, but
poor.
Well, I mean, if Palpatine or Snoke, Palpatine, whoever's behind that mask, didn't say, I bridged your minds, and actually it was just something they were doing, I think then the story makes a little more sense, right? Like the fact that they needed a push start.
Well, would the two of them ever discovered each other?
That's what I'm saying, is like, would that relationship have still been existent had Snoke, Palpatine, whatever, not bridged those minds and started the pebble down the mountain, so to speak? You know what I mean? Like that's more of I feel like where they kind of fell off is because, like, okay, was it created or was it something that he sensed and then tossed the pebble down the mountain?
Well, he definitely has knowledge of it because he tells them both it's something that has not been seen for centuries, etc. And like, I don't know how he knew. Well, I mean, because it's hard to say if he knew that the two of them were one before.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's where they screwed up. Another place they screwed up, and I feel like this is the FU to FU on directors, is like, if they mentioned it in one movie And he's like, yeah, I know about your connection and the dyad and that. And then Palpatine's like, oh, a dyad. Like, you knew if you were the remote controller of the Snoke, you knew.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like that.
What he knew was Rey was his descendant. What he did not know, because what he knew was Rey was his descendant.
Jesus.
Before I lose it, he knew that Rey was his descendant, and he knew that the only way to get Rey to come to him was to send Kylo to her because they had that link, and then he discovered that he could link their minds, and that's what hinted him off to like, okay, maybe there's something to this. But ultimately, all he wanted Rey to do was kill him so that he could have her body.
Right.
And
she did.
Right. So
well,
I think,
no, she didn't strike him down. That's the key to force what is it to where your essence transfers basically is you have to be struck down by the person, and she really didn't.
How did she reflect the light back?
How did Mace Windu do it to him? Mace Windu held his saber to his force lightning and reflected back on him. We didn't argue that in no, but
yeah. So hey, X-Wing, you're saying that if he did kill him, would Palpatine transfer into Mace? Is that what you're saying?
And furthermore, was Palpatine giving Mace all of the lightning because he knew that Anakin was going to turn? So was it an act at that point once he was disarmed? Was he just giving it enough to to mess his own self up? Or was he giving him both barrels and trying to kill Mace?
So close. It's so close.
No, it's not, because okay, so let's forget about Palpatine in the sequels. When Mace disarms Palpatine and he starts giving him force lightning and Anakin is there, is he giving him both barrels of force lightning, or is he giving him just enough to where it's changing him and hurting him just a little bit to get Anakin baited in?
Make Anakin concerned, right?
Which is it? Because this is Revenge of the Sith. This is the Bible, basically, right?
Revenge of the Sith, he's just doing enough to get Anakin to do what he needs him to do. But here's another thing, though, because here's something I've always kind of looked at this as. Did the lightning truly change his physical appearance, or is that what he's always looked like? And he has used the Force for so long to mask himself. That's how I always looked at it. His true form came out as a Sith.
And does that form not shift back and forth between the two?
I think he can shift back and
Ezra, because he confronts Ezra and he shifts.
But it's a hologram. That's different. I think you could make a hologram do what you want.
He could make that, but he kind of like loses it, and he just kind of goes and then he's like evil him. But the way I always looked at it, like I know it was like on the surface, everything was always like, okay, the lightning like did that, and he even says it to the Senate. He's like, it's left me scarred and all this stuff. Right. But I don't know, for some reason I always felt like he just revealed his true self at that point.
And here's a good point too. Why didn't Luke come out all kinds of messed up after getting force lightninged?
That's what I'm saying. And Mace Windu didn't get messed up either. We see him go out the window. He's not all wrinkled and everything.
So he's not giving his full power when he is trying to electrocute Mace. It's an act, right? It's probably 1-2%, whatever makes it look entertaining, right? So if he's giving Rey 100% and she is deflecting that back on him, wouldn't it go to say that he might destroy himself that way?
Because he was going full tilt.
Because he was going full tilt on Rey.
Why wouldn't you stop?
That's the question.
Maybe he couldn't. Maybe all that dyad juice had him on a high.
Oh, the dyad juice.
maybe the dyad juice gave him, oh my God, I can't stop. It's all power. I don't know. All I'm saying is
he melted like a gremlin in sunlight. Like
that's what I'm saying. If he's giving him, I don't even think he was giving Luke 100% because I think he wanted to make him suffer. Yeah. Right. I think he was just giving him enough to hurt him and make him feel it. But I think he wanted to make him suffer for not turning. Right. So I don't even think Luke got both barrels.
Yeah. Padawannabe mentions a good point. Asajj and Maul were hit repeatedly. I mean, Palpatine goes to town on Maul after he kills his brother. Maul is still
That's a good point. Maybe he was always hiding his big face, and maybe you're right. Maybe he can use the Force to make people see what they want. Like, isn't there a Force power that can make people see what you want them to see?
I think it's
like Sith sorcery.
Yeah, it's a dark side thing where it's like you know, like they keep their orange eyes away, and they keep it's a trick.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
These guys used to use alchemy to create goddamn leviathans. I want Sith leviathans. That's the thing.
The Sith were
give me all of this dark side stuff. Where are you hiding it? Please give me it now.
It's a secret.
Yeah, I mean, I think George and Dave gave us a lot of that in, I mean, as much as they could, being a kid show in Rebels and in Clone Wars.
Sisters, because the authors in the EU that gave us the old Sith. That's
right.
If I want to see
before they were even called Sith.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I like the stuff in KOTOR where there's, an abundance of Sith. Right, there's Sith troopers and there's Sith soldiers. Like
Sithari, man, like people don't even touch on the Sithari anymore, and like the real stuff, and like
weren't they the
to use Sith sorcery?
Well, and was Anakin truly the chosen one for the light or the dark? Right, like that's
right. What are those Sith prophecies?
Right, the Sith prophecy of the chosen one.
He was neither. He was the balance. He was the light, and then he was the dark, and in the end, he created balance.
So he's all the Sith and the Jedi.
He purged both sides. Actually, he just killed everybody and then let himself die.
He purged.
I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry.
There is so much.
Should we go to open world so your head doesn't explode on your first stream back?
This has been so much fun. I do have to still cook dinner and like go to work tomorrow. So no, this was a good talk. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope I don't peeve anybody off, but I think we should call it. This was good. I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to Hangar Bay, getting the rest of the community back in and involved. Chat has been absolutely awesome tonight, so thank you so much. Darth Mandalorian, you're looking awfully dainty again. Thank you for being here. Steve, good to see you. You weren't lying when you said there were some big channels in here,
dude. I told you, like, you were focused on stuff. I was like, Sheev, Ryan from RK Outpost.
He's a tiny channel. Don't worry about that guy.
I thought what's that?
He's tiny channel. He's not.
Oh yeah, no big deal. I saw some of the. I thought I saw some EBN people in here, and then I thought I saw somebody else in here.
So yeah, it's good to be back. I missed you guys bad. I didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was, but honestly, it was killing me not being able to hop in and talk with you guys. Seeing the streams, I finally caught a couple of Santa streams live because he streams in the morning like a psychopath. But yeah, I don't know. It's just good to be back. I enjoyed that. I thought this was a great little Boomer Council. I miss talking to you guys. So thanks for being here. Anything you guys want to say in parting?
I got a new camera and I'm trying to do more and more content, like a lot more content, pre-recorded videos. So
love it.
If y'all want to come check me out, you should see more stuff.
We've been dropping Nightbot's been dropping links to the channels in the chat, so make sure to go and subscribe to the homies.
Absolutely.
Anything obsession?
Sure.
No, Matt Cave's wearing a sweet sweatshirt.
There it is. We were talking about buying expensive stuff, but if you don't want to break the bank and want something quality,
Christmas
is
coming.
A cloud.
Christmas is coming, man. So yeah. Get out there and get some merch from everybody. Everybody's got some fun stuff out there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just be nice to one another. It's a weird time in the world right now. So
crazy time.
Try to treat your average human like you treat your mama.
Share the love. All right, boys. Good night. May the force be with you.
Thanks for having us.
Always.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.